In the name of God, the Merciful, the Compassionate.
Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 39. Narrated Al-Bara bin Azib. When the Prophet came to Medina, he stayed first with his grandfathers or maternal uncle from Ansar. He offered his prayer facing Jerusalem for 16 or 17 months, but he wished that he could pray facing the Kaaba. The first prayer which he offered facing the Kaaba was the Asr prayer in the company of some people. Then one of those who had offered that prayer with him came out and passed by some people in the mosque who were bowing during their prayers facing Jerusalem. He said, addressing them, "By Allah, I testified that I had prayed with Allah's apostle facing Makkah." Hearing that, those people changed their direction towards the Kaaba immediately. Jews and the people of the scripture used to be pleased to see the Prophet facing Jerusalem in prayers, but when he changed his direction towards the Kaaba during the prayers, they disapproved of it. Al-Bara added, "Before we change our direction towards the Kaaba in prayers, some Muslim had died or had been killed, and we did not know what to say about them. Allah then revealed, and Allah would never make your faith to be lost." Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 40. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's apostle said, "If any one of you improve his Islamic religion, then his good deeds will be rewarded 10 times to 700 times for each good deed, and a bad deed will be recorded as it is." Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 41. Narrated Aisha. Once the Prophet came while a woman was sitting with me. He said, "Who is she?" I replied, "She is so and so," and told him about her praying. He said disapprovingly, "Do good deeds which is within your capacity, as Allah does not get tired, but you will be tired, and the best deed in the sight of Allah is that which is done regularly." Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 42. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, "Whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good faith equal to the weight of a barley grain, will be taken out of hell. And whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good equal to the weight of wheat grain, will be taken out of hell. And whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good equal to the weight of an atom, will be taken out of hell." Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 43. Narrated Umer bin al-Khattab. Once a Jew said to me, "O the chief of the believers, there is a verse in your holy book which is read by all of you, and had it been revealed to us, we would have taken that day on which it was revealed as a day of celebration." Umar bin al-Khattab asked, "What is that verse?" The Jew replied, "This day I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion." Umar replied, "No doubt, we know when and where this verse was revealed to the Prophet. It was Friday, and the Prophet was standing at Arafat." Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 44. Narrated Talha bin Ubaidullah. A man from Najd with unkempt hair came to Allah's apostle, and we heard his loud voice but could not understand what he was saying till he came near, and then we came to know that he was asking about Islam. Allah's apostle said, "You have to offer prayer perfectly 5 times in a day and night." The man asked, "Is there any more?" "No, but if you want to offer the Nawafil prayers," Allah's apostle further said to him, "you have to observe fast during the month of Ramadan." The man asked, "Is there any more fasting?" Allah's apostle replied, "No, but if you want to observe the Nawafil fast, you can." The Allah's apostle further said to him, "You have to pay the zakat, obligatory charity." The man asked, Is there anything other than the zakat for me to pay? Allah's Apostle replied, No, unless you want to give alms of your own. And then that man retreated saying, By Allah, I will neither do less nor more than this. Allah's Apostle said, If what he said is true, then he will be successful, that is, he will be granted paradise. Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 45, narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Apostle said, A believer who accompanies the funeral procession of a Muslim out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's reward and remain with it till the funeral prayer is offered and the burial ceremonies are over, he will return with a reward of 2 qirats. Each qirat is like the size of ahad, that is mount. He who offers the funeral prayer only and returns before the burial will return with the reward of only 1 qirat only. Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 46, narrated Abdullah. The Prophet said, Abusing a Muslim is a fusuq and killing him is a kufr. Narrated Ubaidah bin As-Samit, Allah's Apostle went out to inform the people about the night of Al-Qadr, but there happened a quarrel between 2 Muslim men. The Prophet said, I came out to inform about the night of Al-Qadr, but as so and so and so and so quarreled, its knowledge was taken away, and maybe it was better for you. Now look for it in the 7th, the 9th, and the 5th of the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book number 2, number 47, narrated Abu Huraira. One day, while the Prophet was sitting in the company of some people, Gabriel came and asked, What is the faith? Allah's Apostle replied, Faith is to believe in Allah, His angel, meeting with Him, His apostle, and to believe in resurrection. Then he further asked, What is Islam? Allah's Apostle replied, To worship Allah alone and none else, to offer prayer perfectly, to pay the compulsory charity, and to observe fast during the month of Ramadan. Then he further asked, What is ihsan? Allah's Apostle replied, To worship Allah as if you see Him, and if you can't achieve this state of devotion, then you must consider that He is looking at you. Then he further asked, When will the hour be established? Allah's Apostle replied, The answer has no better knowledge than the questioner, but I will inform you about its portents. Number 1. When a slave lady gives birth to her master. Number 2. When the sheepherds of black camel start boosting and competing with others in the construction of higher buildings, and the hour is one of 5 things which nobody knows except Allah. The Prophet then recited, Verily, with Allah in the knowledge of hour. Then that man Gabriel left, and the Prophet asked his companions to call him back, but they could not see him. Then the Prophet said, That was Gabriel who came to teach the people their religion. Abu Abdullah said, He considered all that as a part of faith.